mama told me when I was young, said sit beside me, my only son, and listen closely to what I say. And if you do this, it'll help you some sunny day. It will. Oh, take your time, don't live too fast. Troubles will come and they will pass. You'll find a warm arm and you'll find love. And don't forget that there is a someone up above. And be a simple kind of man. Be something you love and understand. Baby, be a simple kind of man. Oh, won't you do this for me, son, if you can? Get your love from the rich man's gold. All that you need now is in your soul. And you can do this, oh baby, if you try. All that I want from you, my son, is to be satisfied and be a simple kind of man. Be something you love and understand. Baby, be a simple kind of man. Won't you do this for me, son, if you Oh, don't you worry, you'll find yourself. Follow your heart and nothing else. And you can do this, oh baby, if you try. All that I want from you, my son, is to be satisfied and be a simple kind of man. Won't you do this for me, son, if you can? So baby, be a simple man. Oh, won't you do?
Folks, welcome back to Maypole Farm. You will have just probably seen a time lapse of me getting the bales stacked. A job I enjoyed so much I did it twice, because the Google Drive thing that I was using to try and make playing the save across multiple computers easier decided to nuke the save just after I did it. So I had to go back to the save game, back up and do it again, which is great fun. But actually it was kind of fine because I didn't mind doing it. We have some new arrivals in the yard. I have spoken to the dealership about our issues with the Fendt. They've had some suggestions about resolving the issues with that. I've done some research actually, and the turbo shift is supposed to be one of the better gearboxes from that era. So whether we've got a dodgy one, I don't know. I've had some work done on it to improve it, but to try and appease us, they have offered us a refund on this guy, because it's not performing as we had wanted, and obviously we have some level of influence with the local community, in terms of what other farmers might be looking to buy. So they've loaned us this nice selection of tractors to explore whilst we get the grass pasture sorted. So we've got the Steyr that I've been talking about before. This case has recently come available to us, so that's a possible option. And we also have, this is going to stretch our budget rather a lot, but a nice big John Deere. So just to kind of go through the store bit, and then we'll get to work. So there is one more that sort of has my eye, which is the 7555. I quite like this tractor, but we've had it before. 190 horsepower. We know how this guy works. So stop saying so. This is the guy we have on demo. It's the 190 horsepower. For some reason, it doesn't show horsepower here. Not sure why. But this is the version we have, the Pro Tuned with the front 3-point. So it would be 112,000. Now, I think from memory, they're going to give us about 77,000 back on the Fendt. So we would have to find a bit of cash on this one. But it does have the option, and it's really annoying that it's not showing the horsepower, but we have the option to go all the way up to 300 horsepower in the future. So, it has lots of room for us to grow, but it's going to cost us more. And it does need an upgrade straight away, because it's only 170 horsepower out of the box. So, we've got the Steyr. And again, so we've got the version with the front 3-point, which costs us a little bit. And we've got the version with 190 horsepower on demo. So we're looking at about 90 grand. So we'd probably have to put in about 15 grand to pick this guy up. We could get a front loader on this guy if we really wanted, but this is really going to be our fieldwork tractor. So, yep. So this is more within the realms of affordability, certainly. And then if we go into large tractors, we have the John Deere. This is where things get much more expensive, because to get the horsepower that we want, we've got to go. I might actually get away with 180. I guess. Not enough to run. So this is actually only 180. So we could get away with this guy. So the one we've got on demo is the 200 horsepower version, with a front 3-point. So we're looking at 147,000 pounds. So we don't have enough cash to buy this, because we'd need an extra 70 grand. But it is a nice big old tractor. And again, it has room for us to grow up to 300 horsepower. In the long term, it would cost quite a lot. If we could get away with the 180 horsepower version, it would only be 120,000. But we're down on power compared to the Steyr then. So, you know, we have got this guy as well, but that's 124. We don't have one of those on demo. So without having driven them, this guy is my preference. But we've got a fair bit of work to do. The first job we're going to do is mulching. And I think we'll run the John Deere on the mulcher. So I've fed the cows. We've got some more cows that are with calf now, including one that's got a set of triplets. So we'll see how we go there. So we've had the vet in. I've had a look in the XML, and the calves in the pen where we've got the, can't remember what, the Hereford, are giving us a mixture, as I was told we would see. And I think that's, if you're running a farm a bit like I am, where you don't want an endless number of milking cows, that's probably a bit of a cheat code. And the reason that I think it's a bit of a cheat code is that the let's get ourselves up and running. I think maybe it's a bit of a cheat code anyway, because you probably don't always want to take the dairy calves. Maybe you do, depending on how you're playing, but probably with the realistic livestock mod, you don't. You're probably going to be wanting to sell some of the calves. The reason I think it's a bit of a cheat code is that the calves from the beef breeds are worth more. So we get the best of both worlds. We get our dairy heifers to produce milk, which is obviously a key step. They need to have been pregnant to lactate. And we get the most valuable calves we can out of them. So I think that's, and you still get some calves that are the original breed of cow. So I think it's kind of a cheat code for maximising your potential income. And I would maybe recommend considering it. So it's cool. It's cool. I don't know if it's one of those. I don't know if it's a documented feature. But then again, I'm not sure how much of realistic livestock is documented. I was chatting to Cartech earlier about the realistic weather mod and the fact that I don't use it because the one time I tried to use it, I got really frustrated that certain features weren't documented, and I didn't really want to spend the time to work out how they worked. I just wanted to play the game. So yeah. And then this is going to ring a little bit true with mods that I've been involved in. It's really frustrating when complicated mods don't have documentation. And I agree that was the case with Terra Life. There was a lot of Terra Life that I didn't understand how it worked because we didn't have documentation. I don't read Lua. So yeah, I think and probably you can, like with Terra Life, I guess you can work a lot of it out through gameplay. But as someone who's only recently started enjoying playing the game, I'm not at a point where I want to spend that amount of time understanding it. So currently, pretty much any time I play the game is what you guys see. And so I don't really want to add it into here and then have things get screwed up. And yeah, I'm always a big advocate of testing things, but it's not a mod that I'm interested enough in trying at the moment to invest the time. So without it being well documented, I got really frustrated with VCA in FS 22 and in 19 to some extent, because that has a whole load of features which are essentially undocumented, and you can't even quite work out how they work just by playing with them. Certainly I couldn't, to an extent that I was comfortable that I could then explain how they worked, and be confident that I wasn't getting it wrong. So I'm not just singling out Arrow or the farming agency here with complicated mods, because VCA was the same. Now, if you remember, I did a series of mods on VCA and all the others, and I promised with VCA there would be a part 2 looking at some of the more obscure features of that mod, and there wasn't, because I couldn't work out how they worked, and there was no documentation that explained how they worked. So yeah, I think probably some of it depends on the background of the people creating things. A lot of it depends on time available, because everyone does these things as a hobby, and it's not necessarily, it's probably sounding like it's not meant to be a massive criticism, because when you've got limited time, which I hugely appreciate, it's better to finish things and get them working than have it half done and have the half that's done really well documented. But yeah, tricky. It's really tricky. I get that. And it's better to have the undocumented mod released so people can play with it than have it finished and not documented and then not released. So yeah, I'm not sure what the solution is really, I guess, other than players investing time in understanding it and releasing videos. And I used to do that kind of thing, didn't I? It was back when I had more spare mental energy. Just don't have at the moment. Anyway, we are in an interesting, I guess junction is a good word. I was going to say crossroads, but not really, junction on available maps in FS25. So we had Monarch's Mapping release his maps. A little bit biased there, obviously, but they are very nice maps. Kale has released a map for FS25 that pulls on the old desire to play, because I'm a massive fan of his maps. I love they kind of suit how I play. And if you look how I'm playing on here, I'm using 3 fields and a tiny plot of land. I tend to play in a small area, so small maps work well for me. And I've always, I don't know if I played them in 19, but certainly in 22, I really enjoyed playing his maps when I discovered them. And yeah, so cool to see him back in the map making game. And then we have, in my opinion, one of the finest UK map makers in Farming Simulator. Some will disagree, because they will have their pet favourites, but Farm Sim Briscoe has Saxlingham essentially done, it would appear, from the fact that FSG did a stream last night promoting it, and I see Scroff's working on a showcase video in only the way that he does, so pretty awesome. I was lucky enough a few months ago, I think it was, to get an early copy of the map when it was still very work in progress, and the little bit that was done then was awesome. It's very, very well done in terms of a UK map. I think if you've seen any of the videos of it, you'll have seen the Ford that he's put in. It's brilliant. We'll talk more about Ford in a bit, actually, but it's brilliant. Different kind of Ford. At that point, there was only one farm finished, or maybe even only partly finished. Yeah, and it looked really good. So yeah, very nice map. Very nice map. As you would expect it to be with Farm Sim Briscoe. So yeah, very cool. Very cool. So I've updated the MB track. It's got some new sounds, which if we run it today, I'll hear in edits. I don't have headphones in the moment because it's kind of late in the day and my brain's a bit tired. So I'm not hearing the sounds of the tractors we're demoing either, which is, you know, doesn't matter too much. I mean, this is a very nice bit of kit. This is a very nice bit of kit, but very expensive. So, yeah. But there's another one, the yield tracking mod, something like that, which I downloaded and put on the laptop and wasn't able to easily sync across at the point I downloaded it, so we'll add that in later. We're not going to be harvesting anything for a little while anyway, but yeah, so that looks really cool. Being able to keep track of what we harvest across the farm over certainly the length of time that we're going to be playing on here, which will be awesome. I really like that. Really like that. Looked a very cool mod. So tram lines. So I'm pretty sure to knock out the tram lines we need to do at least deep cultivation. I don't think we need to go as far as ploughing. So I have checked. Our disc harrow counts as shallow cultivation, so we're going to need to lease a deep cultivator. I think we're going to do that step next. So we'll mulch, we'll cultivate, we'll lime, and then plant is my plan, and then roll. So we've got a fair few steps to get through, which means we can try all these tractors out. We can try out the Fent that's the garage have had a little bit of a go at again for us. and just see what I think, what you guys think. I think sadly this guy is out of our budget. Sadly, this guy is out of budget. Unless they could get a quality used one in for us, I suppose. But, you know. I've run a lot of John Deere in the past, so I don't think that's a big problem. I am hopeful that the Steyr, however it's pronounced, is a nice bit of kit, because I haven't really used very much of their stuff at all. Used a fair bit of Case over time, used a lot of John Deere over time, so yeah, it would be nice if we could use a different brand. So we'll see. And I think it'll do a job for us in terms of running everything we need to run on the farm. Probably for a good while, actually. Only thing I could think that we would need significantly more is if we went much bigger on the mowers. And honestly, I can't think that we'll need to, because although we're planting a very big pasture, we're going to be working this in chunks, because some of this we will zero graze in the summer, some of this we will use as hay. But yeah, it'll be doing a bit of mixed duty work. So I think the mowers that we have will probably be okay until or unless we expand significantly. Yeah, we're going to have to go down in size on cultivator to it might make sense to cultivate with this tractor because it's got that little bit more grunt, but it's probably grunt we can't afford, so you know, it's very nice having a tractor that runs this smoothly compared to what we've been driving. Absolutely makes it a pleasure. Right. Nice cab to work in. Yeah, very nice cab to work in. Could see me in one of these in the future, maybe. We probably don't need something this big. Normally, I probably wouldn't bother mulching a field like this, but you know, before we put grass in, but I'm not even sure if it really helps with putting grass in. Not something I'm really sure about, because grass is one of those sort of multiple yield crops. So I did want to put in a Black Sabbath track with the events of the past few days, but the music provider that I used didn't have. They had a few available, but they didn't have anything that particularly spoke to me. You probably just heard one of the dogs getting up just then. So, I didn't go for that, but it's been an interesting few days. Aussie, and then before I started doing this, now, so this guy was an interesting character through his life. I think as he got older, he maybe became someone that less interested in his views and opinions and things. But you know, when I was a kid, growing up, watching wrestling, Hulk Hogan was the guy. And when you're a kid, you don't know all of the other stuff that's going on. He was the guy. He was, you know, he is one of the reasons that I started going to the gym. You know, so he had a lasting impact on my health, you could say. We can return that least mocha. He was talking through the wall. Do anything quietly. Let's just park you up for now. You are a very nice tractor, but you are a little spendy. So, let's give the case a run. Oh, I think, what did I say the horsepower was for the case? 192. So, head into the store. We need a cultivator. 240 is too much, obviously. 180. 200, that's a shallow cultivator. 300. 300. 190, that's a shallow cultivator. 400, so we're looking at modded ones. 3 meters, that's shallow. So I think we're looking at the Lemkin, so we're looking at a 5 meter one. We will lease that. And I don't know if we're going to need a front weight on here or not. We'll see how we get on. Yeah, so before I got sidetracked. So when I was growing up, or when I started watching wrestling, he was the guy. You know, he was the heavyweight champion. Obviously he's had his problems since then, but it was kind of a, you know, and I think he was 71, but it was a little bit of a shock when I opened up YouTube to see the news story that he'd passed away. I don't know at this point what the cause of death was, and I'm not going to, you know, I don't want to talk about any of the other random stuff that happened in his later life. Really, 3 headlands? That's probably enough, isn't it? We are going to start on, we want steering assist. Not 4 headlands, 3 headlands. Thank you very much. And I'm going to start on the up-down rows. That feels sensible to me. Off we go. So I could just cultivate the tram lines and then disc the rest with the big disc, but that feels a little bit cheaty to me, so we'll do it properly. Again, another nice cab. I was really pleased when I saw this mod drop on mod hub, and it's like I've got another version of this mod installed as well, you know, so it's a tractor that I've always enjoyed playing in FS. I think I used this in FS 19 in like the first save that I had. I'm going to try automatic cruise control deactivation. See if it switches it off in the right place. Let's see how good giants are, shall we? Yeah, so been a weird old week, I guess, with that sort of stuff. And then related, vaguely, a wrestler I was less familiar with because I watched less WCW wrestling. But I happened to be scrolling YouTube and saw that Buff Bagwell, if you're not a wrestling fan, these names probably, you know, these people mean nothing to you, has had to have his leg amputated due to a car accident years ago. So yeah, and that was from being, go a little bit further, driving intoxicated, driving his car through a building and ending up with a destroyed leg. Yeah, there was another one that was I guess, yeah, kind of sad to see these people getting older and broken and doing crazy stuff. Jeez, my neighbour annoys me so much. So fed up with how noisy he is. Welcome back, folks. It is now day 3 of trying to record this video. The last segment stopped probably rather abruptly. Basically, the noise that you couldn't hear from my neighbour talking, I know you couldn't hear him. I've already edited that part of the video. It wasn't loud enough in any way that you would have heard him, but it was penetrating my brain massively and I couldn't concentrate. So, yeah, I stopped. It's one of the joys of how my brain works. I went from being in a reasonably okay mood to massively pissed off. Basically stopped doing this completely, packed everything away, stuck my noise cancelling headphones in with music playing as loud as I could possibly play it, and that was the rest of my evening, until I went to bed way later than I would have normally, because yeah, my brain just kind of melted down. So welcome to my head. And yeah, relatively trivial thing really, but it is what it is. It completely threw my ability to concentrate on absolutely anything. So, oh well. Lift tool. So I have edited the first half of the video now. Picked the song that we're going to have. Was not the song that I expected to have for the time lapse. The song that I expected to have. So you'll know if you look down below, but I used Licked for my music provider. Thank you, Gartec. For the premium tracks. The song that I wanted to use doesn't go through their automatic copyright clearance process, and because of when I'm likely to upload this, it would have been an issue for getting the copyright cleared for any kind of timely release. So yeah, I had to swap the song over that I used so that it could be released in a timely manner. So Plus side, it means I've got another song that I can put in when I do the next time lapse, assuming I'm more organised with getting the video recorded, because it takes GPS takes up to 48 hours to get that one cleared. So actually, no, I think it was 4 hours, but it needs to be a weekday. So yeah. Hey, always a bonus. Always a bonus. I find picking music really hard, actually, because I find picking music really hard because songs that I really like that are available, and probably a bunch of you would like, don't necessarily fit well in a video. I don't think. I don't know. I had that problem with some of the Timberborn videos where I used premium songs in time lapses, and the music doesn't really fit the mood of the video game, if you get what I mean. Because my taste in music is, yeah, I don't know. So sometimes I just think, screw it, I'm going to play the song that I like, which is kind of a bit of the song that you will have heard earlier. And sometimes I try and do something which is maybe going to just be something more that people will enjoy through, because I played 95% of this song, so I don't know. Very personal thing, isn't it, music? So trying to pick something that isn't going to turn a bunch of people off, particularly having a time lapse right at the start of a video. So yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I'm kind of feeling that I'm not going to get everything finished today, because it's taken me now 3 days to get to this point. We've still got liming, seeding and rolling to do. So probably I will finish the cultivating today, and we'll do the liming and the seeding and the rolling next time, maybe. Best laid plans and all that. Yeah, just I find sometimes the way my brain responds to stuff so frustrating. Yeah, it just literally snap, bang, done. I could probably have tried to force myself through doing things, but I do this for a hobby, for fun. There's no need to force this. Well, I don't anymore. I try not to anymore. Yeah, it's meant there's less videos, which isn't the most popular. I was looking at the video analytics the other day. I don't look at those quite so often these days, and I had I think about 4 days in a row where there's just the number of subscribers just dropped continuously, which was interesting. Not sure what I did then to piece people off, but I've with some things. It wasn't a farm sim, it was a Timberborn video. Someone commented something and they were flat out wrong with what they commented. So I told them they were wrong, and they got really arsey. I didn't like being told they were wrong. Because they had an invalid assumption. And I told them they're wrong. And told them why they were wrong, and they were like, I'm just trying to help or whatever. Normally just watch and don't comment. And it's like, well, you know, but they deleted their comment before I could reply this, because So I could be like 99% of other YouTubers and just ignore your comment, I guess. But I usually can't engage with people, and so I've decided now a lot of the time, if it's a comment like that, I just click the little heart thing, and yeah, your comment is clearly correct or whatever, because I can't be asked. That doesn't mean if your comment just gets a heart, I feel it's a comment like that, just in case you're wondering. Because some might just do that because I can't think of something to reply or whatever. But some of those comments now where the person has written something which is clearly wrong, but it's not something that materially affects the quality of the video. You know, it's not like a tutorial on something where they've written a wrong thing underneath it which affects the value of the video. I'm just going to click, yeah, you rock on, fella, whatever, because I can't be asked. So, because it's like, yeah, you know, what you said is perfectly correct. I'm doing that wrong. No, I'm doing it because of something that you don't understand. Yeah, I'm doing it wrong. People don't like being told that they're wrong and why they're wrong. It's my fault when they're wrong. Yeah, oh well. I guess it's the thing with doing this kind of stuff, isn't it? It's the thing with doing this kind of stuff. So, but again, one of my brain things, I don't know how other people do it, because I know a lot of creators just ignore their YouTube comments, but I can't do that. That little thing that tells me I have unresponded comments, I can't ignore it. So maybe when there's more, it's because the number's so small. Because the number of them is so small. My dive down random YouTube rabbit holeness has continued. And so is dealing with the annoying dogs. Yeah. So it's gone to over the last week, exercise and diet challenge things, which have been kind of an interesting rabbit hole. It's reignited my interest in some things. So for a little bit of context, I think I've said I'm currently trying to lose a bit of weight for the ultra marathon that I have coming up, so it's kind of helping me with my focus on that. It's got me interested, apart from the fact that when I went back to the gym last time I had my back again, it's got me interested in getting back into the gym a bit. But that's cool. I've been on a random wander down videos to do with pirate software. I'm sure some of you have come across pirate software, if not in your YouTube Shorts feed, in his other content. And I wasn't quite so aware his apparent fall from popularity and the collapse of his viewership on Twitch, where he streams every day or every other, whatever, a lot. And yet his viewership has like dropped by 2/3. Some interesting controversy, and I don't know why, but my brain's just latched onto it. And you know, like if you watch Twitch much, you might be aware of the hype train feature that they have, and he had previously the record for the biggest hype train. I can't remember what the level was, which involved people spending some insane amounts of money. And there's currently a bit of controversy around the fact that one of his moderators helps just keep them going by allegedly, I'm going to say allegedly, donating, and then the suspicion is based on some DMs which were accidentally shared during the stream. That money going back to the moderator, obviously taking a bit of a loss through the cost of purchasing the currency. Yeah, so, but I'm trying to stop looking at that stuff because it's not healthy stuff to watch, you know. It's kind of internet slop, but the exercise stuff, exercise and nutrition stuff is helping keep me motivated when I really want to eat all the food. Now, the fact that I run means there are days when I can eat all the food, like tomorrow, when I'm going to be running for a long time. I could come home and eat all of the food, and it would be fine. But equally, I'm trying to lose another 6 kilos in the next few months. So to do that, I need to not eat all of the food. Yes, I weigh myself in kilos, even though I'm from England and most English people use pebbles, rocks, and bricks or some stupid freaking unit. Never been a unit that I've particularly gone on with. Feels very unsensible. As I was saying last time, I think I use quite a hybrid mixture of units, I guess, because I run in miles, but I weigh myself in kilos. I do all weights in metric, actually. Pretty much. Yeah. Weight is a metric thing. Distance varies, depending on how far it is. Sure, it was meant to be Canadian. Canadians embrace both. But in a different way to the way I embrace them. So, I don't know. I think a lot of it was the fact that I was brought up with a dad who was an engineer who frequently worked in both. Mostly in imperial measurements because of the age that he is, but also would work in metric for a variety of things. So yeah, I think that's probably why. Pretty sure the last boat that he built, because of, I can't remember where the guy was from who designed it, but I'm pretty sure all of the plans are in metric. So that forced my dad to work in metric, and then he would alternate between the two. And that was when I was in my, and I think that was like most of my childhood actually was building that. So I grew up alternating between the two with him. So because I helped him a fair bit with that. Yeah. I think it's quite useful to understand both sets. I guess it depends on what you're doing, doesn't it? Because maybe you don't for a lot of things, but I don't know. It depends what you do in life, I guess, as to whether you need to know what 3/4 of an inch is, or, you know, how many millimeters something is, or whatever. Yeah. I quite like that if I'm measuring something and it's for myself, I'm quite comfortable to use whichever is the most convenient almost. So we've got a nice blank canvas. We need to lime it, obviously. Get the grass in, get it rolled, and we'll be good to go. Tram lines being busted out with our proper cultivator. I've listened to the first two tractors. They both sound pretty nice, actually. Both sound pretty nice. So the style will be, I don't know whether I want to use the style for the seeding. Probably we've got our own seeder. I think we own it. Can't remember if we own it or lease it. We've got the lime spread at least, so we'll use that. Get that returned then. The seeder's not particularly horsepower hungry, so that's probably right. So I'll probably use the style for the lime spreader. See how it runs that. And then maybe use it for the seeder as well, because it is my preference. It is my preference. But unless anything puts me off of it, I think this is probably in second place, just for cost reasons. Obviously, it offers us a lot of flexibility as well. So, yeah, it was 77. I had to check. I could have written in a text document. I just didn't have a hand. It was 77,000 that the dealership are going to give us if we do trade in the Fendt. We've only put 6 hours on it, so with the issues that we've had, they are offering us a full refund. We'll probably run the Fendt on the roller just so that we can get a feel for that in its tuned up state. We do need to roll the grass because it's going to be a permanent pasture. Just to mainly clear off that needs rolling state. There is now the mod, which I will probably install because we're going to be planting grass quite frequently. Not grass, corn. To not need to roll crops that shouldn't need rolling. And corn is certainly one of those, so I think we'll add that in. Because I don't want to be doing that. Yeah. So far, very happy with the demos not to date, because it's all been the same day, but of what we've tried so far. Very pleased. The dealership has redeemed itself. And it wasn't too bad using the little cultivator. Obviously did a bit of it off camera. I was kind of hoping that the rage that I got into last night would go away, but it didn't. Frustration, rage, I don't know what the right word is, but either way, we are now at the point where we have one more headland to go and we'll be good. So it is going to be really cool to get ourselves in a position where we've got a nice big pasture of our own sorted. I'm kind of curious what, if any, contracts will be left in December. I think we'll have to make use of them to improve our financial situation, because it's not going to be great by the time we have replaced the tractor. Well, I'm talking about showing you the Fendt. I'm pretty much decided on it's going to go. I mean, I know what the Fendt drives like because I've driven it in its post-service state. I had to get it back from the garage, obviously. Yes, that's it. He had to get it back from the garage. But I'm just thinking, in terms of crops, we got any that go in to December? Nope. So probably no harvest. There may be some field work that we could do in December, or some forestry. You know, not averse to a bit of forestry. And there is the little forestry plot that we brought last time, if we have enough cash left. I don't remember what it costs. Quick peek. There, 54,000. So we're probably not going to be picking that up. But if you remember from the FS22 series that we did, well, I say we, the patrons cleared that pretty swiftly, and we put cows on there. It became our summer grazing, I guess. For the young cows. That would be even easier now with the pasture system in FS25. Because in FS22 I had to build a custom pasture for it. Yeah. I mean, it would be nice if we could buy the forest woodland next to us. But that's going to be insanely expensive. It's huge. Yeah, £500,000. We're not buying that for a while, folks. Not until we can borrow more cash. Now, probably by next August, once the cows are producing milk, things will be in a better place. But until then, not so much. Now, probably not. I was going to say, do we hang on to the cultivator? But we've got to keep the OSR in until February, so it's probably not worth it. Probably not worth it. So I think we will return that. Return you, and I think that's going to be it for today, folks. I didn't quite get as much work done as planned, but life happens, I guess. So we will aim to finish up next time. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, click the like button. Let me know what you think of the vehicles we have on demo. And next time we will break out the Steyr, and yeah, see you all then.